welcome to Mondo Thingo.
Tonight, why blogging is the new buzzword. Starsky and Hutch rock the big screen. Whoa! And how to turn your old Atari into a music-making machine.
Hello and welcome to Mondo Thingo, the show that's helping Pamela Anderson ghostwrite her autobiography by teaching her the alphabet. This is an A. An A is for apple. Stay tuned, Pamela, only 25 more to go. Tonight on your electric television, we've got an embarrassment of pop culture riches, mined from the giddy world of entertainment. But let's start with our weekly roundup of handy conversation starters. I've waited a long time to say this. Ladies and gentlemen, Barry Manilow is back.
And I'm ready to take a chance again.
Right now on the UK album charts, bands like Nerd and Guns N' Roses are rubbing shoulders with Barry and even Engelbert Humperdinck.
I think there has been a backlash against the manufactured pop, and for a while now, the serious music's... When I say serious, I don't mean that there's anything heavy to say. I just mean people who are more about the craft, who write their own songs and perform their own songs, are being more appreciated right now.
Don't know why I didn't come.
Call it the curse of the crooner or easy cheesy, but these tunes do have their uses.
It's nice, soothing music, generally somebody playing a piano very quietly, singing in a sort of nice, quiet voice, something very melodic that, you know, winds you down after a hard day at work.
Isn't that what vodka's for? OK, time for some celebrity porn. This is where down-on-their-luck Hollywood celebrities come to hock their valuables. Anything from jewellery to Picasso's.
Someone once tried to pawn an Oscar, but we weren't able to do it because the Oscar is the property of the Academy, so it did not really belong to the person, so we weren't able to help them out.
Did Vanilla Ice haggle a better price on this Rolex? Did Molly Ringwald unload this diamond-filled hourglass? Sadly, the owner won't even tell her own family who her customers are.
No one sees them coming and going. It's comfortable and discreet, very discreet.
Yeah, well, discreet's Hollywood code for no fun at all. A centrepiece of the new Blood exhibition at the Saatchi Gallery is a giant mound of resin rats entitled Vermin Death Star. It's pretty, but is it art? But Londoners couldn't give a rat's about Vermin Death Star. They're more upset about a painting of Princess Diana called Hi Paul, I'm Scared. But according to artist and stripper Stella Vine, it's not just the subject matter that's the problem.
I mean, some people, I think, are insulted that it's very bad painting as well.
She could be onto something there. And from high art to high arse, the wild anarchic spirit of the whoopee cushion was severely compromised this week by a world record attempt in Illinois. Disregarding whoopee cushion protocol, 5,000 people inflated their own cushions, then knowingly sat on them. Oh, I don't know whether to snigger or cry. George?
Yeah?
This biography you wrote for me, it's a bit critical.
How do you mean?
Well, listen to this. It refers to Amanda Keller's enormous body.
No. What it says is Amanda Keller's enormous body of work includes... Amanda, are you having body image problems at the moment?
Why would I?
No, it's just that media people are under a lot of pressure to look good, but you don't have a weight problem. And if you avoid horizontal stripes and big blocks of pale colour, you never will.
George, I eat like a bird.
Yes, half your own body weight in food every day. Now, where's that smile?
Keeping a diary used to be something you'd only do if you worked for an emotionally delicate member of the royal family and thought you could make some money out of it. But thanks to the internet, diaries are booming. Except on the net, they're called blogs, short for weblogs. And yes, some people do just everyday lives, but many weblogs have evolved into formed opinion pages that have actually broken major stories. So are blogs what geeks do between Paris Hilton downloads, or are they really new players in international media?
A blog is getting it off your chest to strangers.
Blogging really doesn't want to be part of the mainstream media.
On certain issues that I've sort of highlighted on my site,
I've got reaction directly from the editors of newspapers.
Sydney-based political blogger and journalist Tim Blair has built up an international readership of almost 100,000 hits per week. They regularly log on to sample his right-of-centre perspective.
You write what you think. If people agree with you, they'll get on board. If people don't agree with you but like the way you write, they'll still want to come by. If people are so annoyed by you that they can't stop looking at you, they'll still come on board. So you'll get like a diverse audience of people who read you for different reasons.
Blair's blog was also responsible for the sacking of a Chicago Tribune reporter who invented a quote in a story about the Redfern riots.
I put it up on the website and I said, look, I just don't buy this. Not a lot of people did. And sent a note to the Chicago Tribune saying, well, please, can you check this out? I just don't get this quote at all. It can't be real. It turned out not to be real.
The early days of blogging were charted by US filmmaker Doug Block in the compelling 1999 documentary Homepage.
Is it karmically good for me to drag other people into that? I don't know.
Block follows the fascinating journals and journeys of first-generation bloggers and gets so drawn into their world he starts his own blog along the way.
On the web.
Blogging also made the jump from the personal to the political. In 1998, blogger Matt Drudge brought the Lewinsky scandal to the fore after it had been buried by the mainstream media.
In the future, we have 300 million reporters, which we might if everyone sets up a website. Anyone can report whatever they want for any reason. Woo!
More recently, US presidential hopeful Howard Dean used a blog to attract young campaign workers to his team. And the Iraq War saw the emergence of blogging as a news-breaking form through the Baghdad blogger Salam Pax.
As one of the buildings I really loved went up in a huge explosion, I was close to tears.
And working journalists like CNN's Kevin Seitz.
People talk about news cycles. Well, in blogging, there's no cycle. It can be updated minute to minute. Instead of waiting for print times to roll around for the evening news to be shot and to be broadcast, you can just do it immediately.
And it's not just journalists who blog. Celebrities are also using blogs as a direct, cheap and fairly personal way of keeping in touch with their fan base.
Adam Sandler here. It's been a long time. Just wanted to say hi and tell you...
In the beginning, you pretty much had to be a programmer to blog. But do-it-yourself software packages now mean that anyone who has access to the net can blog away to their heart's content. There are now literally thousands of Australians and millions worldwide who are putting their lives on the line online.
You can kind of write without having to go through the process of like sort of designing a page and going through all of those filters that will make you edit yourself. So there's a sense there that you can you're just writing straight from the heart and it's coming straight out online.
So what do these cyber Bridget Joneses have to say?
It ranges from the my day sucked when I got home, to I just broke up with my boyfriend/girlfriend, to why hasn't Osama been caught yet? Damn it. .com.
There's no limitations to, who can be involved. Doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter where you come from, doesn't matter how much you earn. Everybody is welcome there because it's the epitome of freedom of speech.
And that means the internet floor is open to all races, cultures and political points of view. And it can be riveting viewing.
Even incredibly dull blogs, it's sort of something about it there's some of the attractions of reality TV, even when there's just not a lot going on. At least what you're getting is you feel like you're getting is sort of the unfiltered sort of texture of someone's life.
And for a blogger, bearing your soul in the blogosphere can not only be empowering, but addictive.
You feel bad if you haven't blogged. But I think that's more because you enjoy blogging and you want to do it. So you're walking around the street and you go, I haven't blogged for 2 days. I really, really want to blog.
Australia is one of the fattest nations on Earth. Is there anything we're not good at? But the actual fattest nation on Earth is the United States. And that's where we found the latest weight loss device. Here it is, My Pet Fat. It's made to look like a blob of human fat, complete with a splotch of blood right in the middle. Delicious. So whenever you reach for something fattening, supposedly you look at My Pet Fat and you remember that this is what chocolate eclairs turn into. It's a bit like a pet rock for the morbidly obese. Jay Jacobs of New Jersey came up with this idea after he himself lost 52 kilos in 2 years with his own pet fat. So now his company slogan is, "Fat is all in your head." Except, of course, when you're trying to fit your bum into some lowrider jeans. But My Pet Fat, stop sniggering that boy there, inspired us to come up with a similar idea for people thinking about becoming parents. We're calling it My Pet Baby. It's a litre of rendered baby saliva that you pour over everything you own whenever you think about having a child. And we're inviting expressions of interest from cashed up but not very bright investors now. OK, time for Mondo movies. Nicole Kidman's about to play Samantha in the movie version of Bewitched, but the big screen version of the 70s TV show Starsky and Hutch is already here. Now, for anyone born after the 70s, Starsky and Hutch was a bit like Buffy, if Buffy was two hard-nosed cops fighting pimps and drug pushers on the streets of New York. So tonight we look at the new Starsky and Hutch movie and other films where Hollywood went, stuff it, we'll just rip off an old TV show.
Whoa!
You coming?
Starsky and Hutch speeds into cinemas this week with comedy duo Owen Wilson and Ben Stiller at the wheel. Set in the 70s, the film steers away from the serious action of the TV series.
I like your style. I like your moves.
Favouring instead enjoyably absurd comedy.
This is a bad man. This is what bad men do.
A pony!
Happy birthday, baby. I love you.
Fans of the TV series might be disappointed by the much lighter tone of the movie version.
Nobody said it was going to be easy.
But there could be some consolation in the cameos from original TV duo Paul Glazer and David Soul. Always into risk minimisation, Hollywood loves going into the vaults to exhume baby boomer TV shows, and sometimes it's even worked.
That's odd.
What's odd, dear?
Didn't know Cousin Imar wore turtleneck sweaters.
It was inevitable that the macabre comic strip that became a slightly camp TV show would become a movie.
He has my father's eyes.
Gomez, take those out of his mouth.
The Addams Family was a great opportunity for design and effects, so it caught the eye of Men in Black director Barry Sonnenfeld, who made 2 lavish Addams Family films.
Well, which one will bounce? The baby? There's only one way to find out.
Creepy, kooky and altogether ooky, the terrific cast stayed true to the TV show.
Yes.
Till the one day when the lady met this fellow.
Who wouldn't have expected a disaster when the most annoying family of the 70s was brought to the big screen?
Weren't you ever a kid with a dream of making something of yourself?
But the Brady Bunch movie had a cunning plan. The Brady family would keep all their cheesy 70s TV characteristics, but be relocated into 90s Los Angeles.
I mean, like cutting that mousy hair, capping those teeth, and losing about 30 pounds, my little sausage. How do you feel about breast implants?
Cut my hair.
The result was a funnier film than expected and even led to a sequel called A Very Brady Sequel. But that's where the franchise stalled at the box office.
You know, my goosebumps are so big, I can't tell which ones are the real me.
An action-packed 70s TV adventure series with 3 gorgeous women. How could it not end up on the big screen?
Good morning, angels.
Good morning, Charlie.
Another movie from an old TV show.
The 2 Charlie's Angels films, produced by star Drew Barrymore, have been hyperkinetic video clip-style movies that at any given moment just don't make sense. But as total packages, they're great fun.
You know, I signed that release waiver, so you can just feel free to stick things in my slot.
Silly.
Rod, have you seen Oh my God, no.
If you remember the scandalous and raunchy 70s Australian TV series Number 96, you may also remember that it had a big screen version in 1974. Using the same cast, set and winning combination of sex, nudity and high camp dramatics, the movie was little more than a cinema-sized episode of the series.
I am well aware that it is a grapefruit fur, but I was merely speaking metaphysically.
And as with the series itself, the critics hated it, but the fans lapped it up despite its shortcomings in the area of political correctness.
Oh, nonsense. We all feel as deeply as you do about Aboriginals, just so long as they don't move into Point Piper.
These have been some of the better TV to big screen efforts, and why? Because they don't stray too far from the magic of the original shows, although none quite match that groovy 70s cool.
Amanda, I just wanted to say how much I admire the way you seem to stay on top of all the body image pressure you must be under.
Look, it would be so easy to slip over the edge, to become completely obsessed with my weight. And, you know, when I watch myself on television, I have to remind myself that the camera adds 3 kilos.
I think you're mixing up the camera with iced coffee and cheesecake. They're the brownies you ordered.
No icing.
Mondo Lingo, providing the must-have words for your vocabulary. This week, reality fatigue. Don't care if a resort gets built or not, rather eat at a restaurant than watch one, then you have reality fatigue and you're over the whole reality TV thing. In extreme cases, this may make you yearn for actual reality, which has a lot less product placement but is very badly edited.
So yes, maybe we do have reality fatigue, but it's not over yet. The Block is coming back and so is Big Brother. Now, Michael Adato, TV lover, critic and commentator, joins us. Michael, I thought we were over it. What's going on?
I don't think we're quite over it yet. I think the reality is, no pun intended, that reality TV it's part of the TV landscape. It's a legitimate genre. It sits alongside drama, comedy, you know, news, current affairs, sport. It's a part of the TV schedule. I think what you're seeing is that we're probably over crappy derivative reality TV. Audiences don't respond very well to premises they can't engage in. I think a show like My Restaurant Rules struggles because although the experience of opening a restaurant is intriguing, it's not universal. I think what people respond to are really simple, universal ideas. They like a show like Survivor because it speaks from a very basic question. What would you do if you were stranded on a desert island?
Now, bizarrely, I believe Bob Geldof was part of the beginning of reality TV.
Yeah, I think what we would call modern competitive reality TV, which are these big-budget competition reality shows, began with a show called Expedition Robinson, which Bob Geldof and Charlie Parsons conceived and sold into Sweden, and they shot it on an island in the Swedish archipelago with 12 contestants. They took it to the rest of the world, and when it arrived in America, it was rechristened Survivor.
So you think Survivor will still be a hit even in this modern landscape?
Absolutely. I think, you know, simple, elegant reality TV brands will always work.
Oh my God, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It has been said, the line isn't mine, so it's not original, but it has been said that obviously film is a director's medium, television is a producer's medium. Reality television is actually a casting director's medium. How well you cast it, that's actually what will get you over the line. The idea that it's a cheap alternative is a bit of an illusion because good reality television is extremely expensive to make.
Well, what about the new Donald Trump show? That's doing great business.
The reason The Apprentice works is that it speaks to such a basic human instinct, your ability to better yourself, your ability to compete with the people around you. It's a simple competition. It is actually Survivor. It's just Survivor in a boardroom.
We've got 16 people. Each week I give them a task. It's a business task and a tough one. And we're going to find out who's going to be the smartest, who's the most streetwise, and who can make money.
What about some of the wackier ones?
In terms of sheer silliness, I think The Littlest Groom is probably the funniest thing I've seen in a long time, which is really The Bachelor, but he's a very, very short bachelor.
Yes.
As one man, one little man, searches for his date with destiny.
I want to find a lifelong friend and someone I can spend the rest of my life with.
Enter 12 women, 12 little women.
Strangely enough, these are shows that sometimes work. Coming back to that universal theme, Who Wants to Marry My Dad? Again, it speaks to a very, very basic question, you know. I'm sure there's a lot of young girls out there with single dads who, you know, often sit there wondering, you know, who does want to marry my dad?
Christy, would you like to join me?
I would love to join you.
Right answer.
Like many shows in the reality genre, they're hybrids of hybrids. These are dating shows that marry reality shows.
Gee, you choose a partner who likes your pets?
Absolutely.
So that's the next one, maybe. My gopher chose my husband.
My gopher is my husband. I married a horse. Jerry Springer was doing reality TV, I think, long before anybody else was.
If I had $1 for every time I heard the word digital today, I'd have $1. But as the world rushes into the digital age, $2, there are pockets of resistance clinging to the old analogue mindset, like the people who make what's called micromusic. Micro-musicians hunt down old computers like Ataris and use their clunky old components to make music, the sort of music that Star Trek fans like to make love to when they're at home on their own. It's early on a Sunday morning at Melbourne's Camberwell markets, and these boys are on a hunt. They're foraging for home entertainment equipment from the 1980s.
That's a Simon game, Bill. What? Simon!
How much is that, please?
Has he got a port? I'll buy it. You don't want it, I'll buy it.
Okay.
But they're not merely obsessive collectors of obsolete retro junk. Tim, Edward and Bill are also micro-musicians.
Micro music is generally computer game inspired music from computer games from the 80s, such as the Ataris and Commodores, and
often using the original hardware.
Micro music, or chip music, or chip tunes, is an underground global phenomenon. Artists like Fisher Spooner, Girling and Biff Tech are the more high-profile faces of the movement, but the real stuff is being played right now in the bedrooms of nerds all over the world. Edward Jones and Bill Harrison are the reverse engineers.
When I was a kid, I didn't listen to pop music on the radio. I listened to the music on computer games. My friends and I, we would make tapes of the songs from computer games, and we would listen to those, and they were the tapes we'd copy and pass around.
Nothing much has changed, except the current 80s revival suddenly has Bill and Edward riding the zeitgeist. Not that they'd admit it.
Basically, a lot of people in the chip music scene, we're just big nerds. We love our calculators.
Stationery.
Yeah, we're big on stationery, different types of pens.
Especially that German stationery.
They may be archetypal nerds, but the music they've been making for years is not so nerdy anymore. The reverse engineers meet other micro-musicians for regular jam sessions in this Collingwood bar.
Oh, greetings. My name is Cassio Nova, and the only reason I can be up here tonight is that I have a home keyboard from the 80s, and I'm not afraid to use it.
Tim Bray is Cassio Nova, a performance artist who has pushed his love of keyboards perhaps as far as it can go.
It's extremely lo-fi, and that's what it's about. Like, instead of going into a music store and going, oh, I need that $2,000, $3,000 synthesizer so I can just start being a musician. It's about, OK, what have I got on hand?
Oh, cool. I've also got a brand new keyboard. This is cool. It's a Casio Tone 401. It actually came out the same year as the VL1. They cost $2,000 when they came out. I paid $25 for it the other day.
For Tim and his mates, a big part of micro music is tinkering with their toys. Circuit bending is about rewiring old electronics to get them to make new sounds.
I didn't expect it to be that instantaneously cool sounding.
It sounds really, really cheesy, but it is a one-to-one relationship with electronics. Like, you have a personal relationship with electronics, and you just, it's a part of you.
The internet is hooking up micro-musicians all over the world. And with style setter Malcolm McLaren now managing chiptunesters the Game Boy Musicians, this trend is threatening to bust into the mainstream. But the groupies aren't lining up just yet.
There's an unspoken rule that the percentage of your life that you've had a girlfriend is directly disproportionate to the amount of Casios that you own.
I own 12 Casios. I've actually lost count.
Ice cream is a career killer. Ice cream is a career killer. Ice cream is a career killer.
Amanda, time for your weigh-in.
Look, I'm not up to it today. Maybe next week.
Amanda, you know all on-air personalities are weighed every 2 weeks and any variations are reported back to the shareholders.
But this is a public broadcaster.
Which is why we'll be publishing the results on the website.
Oh, come on, George. Cut us some slack. At least give her a chance to go and throw up her lunch first.
I'll be right back.
OK, who's next on the list?
Oh, Peter Cundall.
Let's do him.
Next week, why chicks want to do it with the light on. Seriously memorable films and all you ever wanted to know about the Logies.
Well, Einstein was right. Time does fly when you're having fun. Another show is over already. But we do have room for one more thing. And here it is. The Baniki. This lovely thing is a brand new product from the US for improving the shape of your bottom without the need for surgery. You simply strap on the Beniki, as shown, and that gravity-affected bum of yours goes from a Kirstie Alley to a Kylie Minogue in no time flat. Undetectable underclothing, unless your clothing is transparent. The Beniki makes the answer to the question, does my bum look big in this, become, well, yes, it does, but in a good way. Now, if you're thinking this doesn't look very dignified, just remember that if dignity was an essential element of beauty, Anna Nicole Smith wouldn't have a career. But the best thing about the Beniki is it has its very own commercial, full of little tricks to hold the viewer's attention. Little tricks like being quite badly done and using very cheap actors. I hope you enjoy it. Bye for now.
Warning, what you are about to see is a new product that dramatically changes the shape of your backside. Now you can get a little help where you want it most with Beniki, the lift and support system for your backside. Designed by Karen Art, this comfortable and discreet intimate item works just like a bra, only it's for your derriere. With its sleek design, Beniki moves with your body, so there aren't any unsightly lines. And because you wear it under your clothes, no one will know any better. Available in either black or white, Beniki provides you with gentle curves that those behind you will appreciate.
Sting.